Hello, accounting students. I'm Teacher Manette doing a lesson on bank reconciliation. Your first step when doing a bank recon is to compare previous month's bank recon statement to the bank statement. This can only be done if it's given to you. If not, the information will be in the additional information attached to the question. Step 2, compare your CRJ to your bank statement. Step 3, compare the CPJ to the bank statement. Once you've done that, you'll start completing the question. So if information is found in the CRJ, but it's not in the bank statement, then you'll record the information in the bank recon as a credit outstanding deposit. If you have transactions that is visible in the CPJ, but it's not in your bank statement, you'll record this in the bank recon statement as a debit outstanding EFT. When there's information not visible in your CRJ, but it is in your bank statement, you will enter it in the bank statement. This will be direct deposits made, for example, rent, or this could even be interest that you've received from the bank, for example. If there is information not in your CPJ or transactions, but it is in your bank statement, you will enter it into the CPJ. This will be direct payments on things like water, electricity, or a direct payment to a creditor. This will include your bank charges or interest paid to the bank. So in order to explain this, I'm using a question that I've received from the Department of Basic Education, question 3. So I'll attach the question to the comments below. Your bank reconciliation. The information is from the record of CD stores for January 2021. They ask you to update the cash journals after comparing it to the bank statement, to prepare a bank account, and to prepare a bank recon statement. So our steps, they're giving us a CRJ, they're giving us a CPJ. And then we have a bank statement and additional information. Step 1 is to compare the previous bank recon to the bank statement. This is not given to us. So we will see the information in our additional information. Next, compare the CRJ to the bank statement. So we are going to check each deposit and if it appears in my bank statement. So we first have a deposit of 12,000. We check the bank statement, and there we have the deposit of 12,000. I'm going to scratch it out. Next, I have a deposit of 1,650. Check, and there we have deposit 1,650. Keep in mind, when you are looking at a bank statement, your bank statement, the credit will show money incoming into your bank account, and the debit will be money going out. Because this is as the books of the bank. Right, next, let's check. We've got that deposit. We have a deposit of 7,670, and I can see that it is visible there. So I'm going to scratch it out. 7,670 and scratch it out on both sides. Next, we have 5,660. And there we go. 5,660. Let's scratch it out. I have a deposit of 4,600. and I see it's not visible in my bank statement. So here we have our credit outstanding deposits. This will you have to record in our bank recon statement. Let's now compare the CPJ to the bank statement. For each of these EFT payments, we have to see, did they appear in my bank statement? We have EFT 10 for 1,500. EFT 10, 1,500. It appears, we scratch it out. EFT 11, 2,430. EFT 11, 2,450. We scratch them out. EFT 12, 3,600. You see EFT 12, 3,600 appears. Scratch it out. EFT 12, we've got. EFT 13, 4,370. 13, 4,370. Scratch it out. EFT 14, 3,470. You see that it does appear, and I scratch it out. EFT 15, 1,330. EFT 15, and I see it does appear, so I'm going to scratch it out. EFT 16, 2,569, and I can see on both it does appear, so I'll scratch it out. EFT 70 for 514. EFT 17, 540, scratch it out. It does appear in the bank statement. EFT 18, 3,550, and I see it does not appear, so I'm going to circle it. This is my outstanding EFT, which I will record in the bank recon statement. The reason that these don't appear could be because your bank statement was issued before these payments went through your bank account. Your bank statement date, usually if we go, you see it goes up to the 26th, and these deposits and payments were made on the 30th after the bank statement was printed. And that's the reason they would not appear. So we will represent it in our bank recon statement. All right, so now we've gone through. Now we can go and check all of these payments that did not appear. We've got cash handling fees. Cash handling fees form part of your bank charges. So I'm going to make a note here. Bank charges. So we have bank charges of 200. Interest on overdraft. This is interest paid. Remember, never add interest to your bank charges. Interest, I want to be alone. You show it as a separate entry in your journals. So because interest on overdraft is interest I pay, I will show this in my CPJ, my cash payments journal. Then we have a direct deposit of T. Rogers. This is money I received and should be recorded in the CRJ. A debit order. So debit orders when the bank takes money automatically off my account and they pay the insurance company. So this will be recorded in the CPJ. Then I have a deposit of BB investment. Again, it's a direct deposit. It's credit. Therefore, now I receive the money, recorded in the CRJ. I have a deposit there of C. Charlie. Again, it's credit. So I'm receiving the money. CRJ. Interest on a credit balance. So this interest on a credit balance is interest that I have received. You show it as a separate entry in your CRJ. This is interest you've earned on your current account. There's service fees. Service fees form part of bank charges. I'm going to add 75 to the bank charges. A debit order to the municipality is money that's paid, CPJ. Then I have a direct deposit student loan. So it's money received, CRJ. And we have EFT charges. This EFT charges forms part of your bank charges. I'll add 250 to that bank charges. And let's add up these bank charges. 200 plus 75 plus 250, my bank charges is 525. And bank charges is recorded in the CPJ. Let's read through our information. It says, the bank has incorrectly debited the business account with interest on the 14th. This will be rectified. So now I go and check the 14th, we have interest on overdraft. This was an error made by the bank. So we are not going to show this in the CPJ. An error made by the bank is corrected in your bank Recon statement. If this was incorrectly debited, we will credit that in my bank Recon statement. The deposit on the 15th from T. Rogers was from a tenant. So on the 15th, this deposit was for rent. This will be shown in my CRJ. The debit order on the 20th of January was for the monthly insurance. So on the 20th, that was for insurance. The deposit on the 21st of January was for a fixed deposit of 21,000 that matured. So this is for a fixed deposit that matured. We can see there's 1,000 extra, which is your interest. So remember to split it in the CRJ. Fixed deposit, I'm just making notes. So when I do my journals, I know what that money was for. The direct deposit on the 24th of January, 2,500 was from a debtor named Charlie in settlement of his account of 2,650. So this goes to your CRJ, and we can see that there's interest received. The direct deposit on the 26th was wrongly credited to the business's account. The bank will correct the error on the next statement. So errors made by the bank will not be shown in your journal. An error made by the bank will be corrected in the bank Recon statements. And then the debit order for your municipality was 3,000 Rand for the business's account, and the rest was for the owner. We can see that it's 4,660, which means we have 3,000 for the business's water and electricity. The remaining is seen as drawings because it's for the owner's personal accounts. And then the bank statement reflects transaction on the 26th of January, and the balance of the bank statement is going to be our balancing figure. All right, so let's start. Here's my CRJ. First, I'm going to include all transactions for the CRJ. So your source document, I'm going to go down. First, I have a direct deposit. So my source document will be bank statement. It's the end of the month, 31st. And I can see the money was from T. Rogers. The amount was for 4,500, 4,500, and we read here that it was for rent income. So that one's now done. Next, we had the investment, the fixed deposit. So it's B/S, still day 31. It was from BB Investments. The full amount was 21,000. Now we're going to split it up. 20,000 of that money was for the fixed deposit. Remember to add the bank's name, BB Investment. And the remaining 1,000 was for interest on fixed deposit. Remember, interest I want to be alone. Interest on fixed deposits. Right, so we've got that. Next, we had the payment from the debtor. If you remember, there was discount as well. So my source documents, the bank statement. Day 31, the debtor was C. Charlie. In the bank, it was 2,500 that went through the bank. He wanted to settle his debt of 2,650. When you do interest, a good grade 10 transaction, let's quickly review that. When we'll have debtors control, bank plus discount allowed. So the bank amount was 2,500. He wants to owe us less 2,650. So debtors control 2,650. Therefore, there were interest of double check a minute of 115. So therefore, we're going to have the 2,650, which is going to be debtors control, as well as the 150, same transaction, which will be discounts allowed. And that one's done. Then we have one more, the interest that we've received. So my source document, B/S, the bank's name according to the statement is Big Bank. The amount is 314. And it's interest on current accounts. Interest on current accounts. Right, we're done with our CRJ. Let's close it off. If I add up, I get 59,920. Right, let's complete the CPJ. So again, all transactions that appear in my bank statement, but not in my CPJ. We record in the CPJ. I'm going to go down my list. We have bank charges. The bank charges. So, source document, bank statement. It's still date 31. The bank's name, Big Bank. I've added up the bank charges to 525. Bank charges. All right, next was the debit order for the insurance. And we can see it just says it's for monthly insurance premium. So it's B/S, bank statement, ST insurers. The amount was 2,340. Insurance. Next, we had, if I check my list, a debit order to the municipality. Those document bank statements. Nala municipality. The full amount was 4,660. Remember, there was additional information. It stated that 3,000 was for the business water and electricity. The remaining was for the owner's personal account. So 4,660 minus that 3,000, there's a difference of 1,660, which we record as drawings. Anything for the owner's personal account is seen as drawings. And then that's it. So we add up our bank account. Gives me 30,874. Now we need to complete my general ledger, the bank account. So bank is an asset plus on the debit minus on the credit. First, we need to see what was the bank amount on the first. It says the balance of the bank account on 1 January is debit 25,210. So the years 2021, January the 1st, balance brought down. And according to my information, it's 5,210. Bring over our CRJ and CPJ balances. So for the CRJ, we receive money. 31st, total receipts, CRJ, 59,920. Bring over my CPJ, we're paying, so the money decreases. 2021, January 31st, total payments, CPJ, and it's 30,874. And now we close off our account. So adding up the biggest, 25,210 plus 59,920 gives me 85,130. minus the CPJ amount gives me a balance of 54,256. And that is my balance carried down. And bring it down for next month. February the 1st. Balance brought down 54,256. Now we have information to help to complete the bank recon statement for the end of January. Now, I always say this is like a sandwich. First, you have your bread, which is a balance. Then all the insides of your sandwich, which is your outstanding deposits, your outstanding EFTs and errors made by the bank. And then you have bread again, which is another balance. So we're going to start with the balance from the bank statement. And here we can see we do not have that balance. All right, this is our balancing figures. I'm going to leave a little space and say balance per bank statement. And I don't have that currently. It's my balancing figure. Next, credit outstanding deposits. This you will find in your CRJ, 4,600. On the credit side, 4,600. Remember, credit will plus, debit minus. It swaps around from my bank account because this is taken from the records or reflect the records from the bank statement. Next, we look at debit outstanding EFT. And you'll list all the numbers. There's only one EFT outstanding, EFT 18. The EFT number 18, the amount is 3,515. And now our errors. So the first error we had was incorrectly debit of that interest. So the incorrectly debit of the interest was our first. If it was debited incorrectly, we need to credit to fix the mistake. So I am going to add credit interest wrongly debited. And that's an amount of interest 614. Then we had another error where they incorrectly credited 3,700. And to correct the mistake, we need to debit it. We're going to have a debit amount wrongly credited. And it gives me 3,700. Then we need to finish off with that sandwich again, that bread. So that's going to be my balance as per bank account. And I can see I have a debit balance as per bank account. Debit balance per bank account, which is 54,256. So I can see I have all of the amounts. If I look at these two, my debit's clearly the biggest. So we're going to add up that debit, which is a total of 61,506. And as we know that it should balance at the end, I'm going to add that balance to credit 61,506 minus all of the above in order to get this missing figure. And that gives me 56,266. If I take the balance minus the 2 credits, and I can see we have a credit balance as per bank statement. Right, if you loved or you like this lesson, you find it interesting, hit that share button and make sure that you connect to the channel for any other accounting lessons. And can't wait for our next lesson. Bye, everybody.